Hey, what is going on, everybody? You already know it's Tuesday night. It's 10 p.m. Fight Club 215 is in the house. Myself, Paul Spencer, and of course, my man, Joey Wood. What is going on, Joey? How you feeling, brother?
Feeling good. I'm feeling good. Another weekend in the books. Got over
Mm,
that Monday little, that drought that everyone feels and that Monday blues, what everyone calls it there. But feeling good. Looking forward to this show. Big show for us, back to back weeks here. Feeling
definitely,
good, and let's get started on this jam
definitely.
packed show
Well,
we have
first, I
tonight.
see, I see you wearing, the Wissinoming shirt there, Joey. You're taking me back about 25 years here, Joey.
Yeah, you like that?
Wow,
Cold Design down in Breisberg. They have shirts and hoodies they make with Sonoma.
wow, that's taking back 25 years there, Joey. That's where it all began between you and I.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard-headed little nose tackle out there. It turned into, one of my best friends and family, basically, of course. So,
Yeah, for
but Joey,
sure.
before we get into this, man, hey, listen, we got a special guest out here today. Last week we had Tresean Wiggins, man, 10th ranked boxer in the WBO welterweight division. Current NABA champion. Oh my God, he was so incredible. But hey, we're gonna take it up a notch today. I don't know if we can beat that one, but man, I think it's pretty relevant with what we have today. So none other than let me introduce him. He is the owner of Kastle Gym. He's Tresean Wiggins' trainer. Great guy. I've had the personal value of meeting him one on one. So let's introduce him here. Brock, welcome to the show.
How you doing, fellas? Thanks for having me on.
Good. Thank you for hopping on. We appreciate that, Brock. Listen, last week we had a great opportunity to meet, one of your fighters out of Kastle Gym there, Tresean Wiggins. And let me tell you, man, it goes a long way. I can tell how represented he is with you as a trainer because he's well spoken. He's very humble, just as you are. But Brock, before we get into anything, let me ask you what. Let's talk about you for a little bit. Tell the people out there anything about yourself.
Oh man, so I'm a Johnstown native. Live and die here. I love it here. Been around and just came back and just invested. I have a company called Manpower. So what I do is I put people to work every day, and at nighttime I put people in a ring and make them different people. But it's really about changing lives for me, building a legacy instead of a business, and that's
Mm.
really what I'm about.
I like that. It's very humble of you. You're a man. You don't put yourself forward. You put the other people, and let them step up first, and that goes a long way. That's something you don't hear a lot about. People doing that, especially when they own a business. You hear the value. I work for the man, or I work for the whatever. You work for the people that you train and try to help. So I appreciate that. You definitely do.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in a
that's
world
Okay.
where you have a lot of people who are in the get rich quick scheme, it's glad to see someone who, you know,
There you go. That comment right there, Gabby called my dad my hero. Definitely, Gabby. Your father's a great man. I have the opportunity to meet him, and just on the one visit, I tell you, he's very humble, and you know what? He's a hero to many. I've heard so many things through Johnstown, and that comment is definitely correct. Definitely.
Thank you, and yeah, what she says means a lot to me. And you get to our show on Saturday, you'll get to meet Gab, and you'll see
Mm,
she knows the sport just as well as the rest of us. So she'll be the one yelling loudest and telling my fighters what to do. She's my fourth man in the corner.
definitely. Well, she's going to be in my next interview. How's that, Brock? Is that
There
okay?
you go. That'd be awesome.
it's funny. It's funny. Listening to you talk, it makes me like instantly think of remember the Titans, the coach's daughter always telling
Yeah,
the
yeah.
players what to do and stuff. That's what makes me think
Hmm.
of as soon as you say that.
It's it.
Exactly.
She's a lot like that for sure.
Definitely. Well, Brock, I mean, how did you get into? I mean, how long have you been in boxing? I mean, has it always been a childhood, dream? It happened, or how did you get into boxing?
It was never a dream. It was more of a, you know, I hated to lose as a team.
Mm,
I don't like to lose at all. I like to win, but I hate to lose. And so when I played team sports and I go into the locker room and we'd lose and I'd be feeling awful and you'd have the guys, usually the one that blew the game, just partying, goofing around, dancing around, talking about what they're doing after the game. Man, it just broke my heart. I hated it.
hmm.
So boxing's the one thing where you got a team around you, but when you're in there, it's you. I just told my fighters it's just yesterday. It's all you. You win, it's you. You lose,
Hmm.
it's you. But always know that you're there for yourself. And you don't have to worry about somebody messing things up, and you can always go back and try to fix that. So that's kind
Mm,
of what I always got out of it. My life has never been easy. It's always been a fight. So why not, go with boxing? It wasn't to get rich. It was more just to feed that fire And then as I got older and got away from boxing, it was, business that fed the fire. And when I was able to merge the two, man, it was just, my fortune and my ability to, again, create that legacy.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, I love how you did that. You merged both of them together. First, your passion for winning and, just overall just to be better, just like you said, a lot of people out there that play sports, Joey, and I coached Joey at 5 years old, and, Joey was the one of win or lose. He didn't care. He went home and, did his own little thing, played with his figures or whatever he had to do at 6 years old, but I mean, that goes a long way. Just like you said, Brock, I mean, that passion right there and where you're at today, you come a long way, and to the community, it's something special that you provide here for the younger kids all the way up to, my age, over the hill people,
And we got, for our fights, I mean, we've got a 43-year-old fighting. So we've got, masters and all ages on the card this weekend. So it's going to be a blast. But, when we decided to move our building to the west end of town, I had a good buddy, the guy that laid the concrete in our new building. He said, Brock, he's been working on sewer projects. He says, speaking of projects, there's project houses all around us. He says, those kids need you. They need something to do, because all I do is I see them getting in trouble. It's nothing for them to walk around and, doing drugs and just doing stuff that, kids that don't have anything better or a good guidance to help them with.
Right.
So when we designed the building, we designed that building with that big garage door in it. And I wanted to be able to open that door so the kids in the neighborhood could see what we did. And lo and behold, literally the day we got the door installed and lifted it, we had 3 families walk in and say, hey, what do you guys do? How do we join you? And, the beauty of that is we've got, if we don't charge a lot for our gym. It's $25 a month for the training, and they get everything they need. But we also have scholarships. If those kids are on any kind of supplement income or like WIC or anything like that, they train for free and they get equipment.
Wow.
So we again, we put our money where our mouth is, and we want those kids to be able to come in, get that guidance, get that, learn that discipline. Because let's face it, if you're not disciplined in boxing, you get hurt fast.
Yeah.
But then having guys like Tresean Wiggins and Max and, some of our pros in there, and like AJ, who's fighting this weekend, who's gone from a kid that was zero athletic ability to an amazing fighter that, he's an amateur, the pros come to spar. To be able to turn that around, it made a huge difference.
Now, AJ was the one that was sparring against Tresean, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Very, very humble guy. He actually stopped and talked to me. He's like, "Are you a promoter?" I'm like, "Oh, no. I'm a fan first, just enjoying the sport here." And when I was talking to Tresean, after that, he came over and talked to me. And I was like, "Listen, I know you train under Brock, but I want to get Tresean on the show. I'm going to get Brock on the show. And if Brock says it's okay, you're more than welcome. Listen, we try to help each other out, but, I want to go through the chain of command first, and that would be you, of course." But very humble. And it shows who his trainer is. It definitely does. You're setting him in the right direction. Definitely. 100%.
Appreciate it. And that's what we try to do. And it's not just about, we try to set them up to understand business. I've had guys come to me and say, I want to go pro. And even if they had the talent, I tell them, I'm not going to do it. You go find someone else unless you've got something to fall back on, because one punch, your life changes. Right, and if you don't have a career, if you don't have any kind of vocation or savings or something that you can fall back on, I'm not going to do it, because it's not worth it. It's not about the money for me. Right.
Yeah, when we talked to Tresean about that, we actually mentioned to him about, his former coaches, promoters. And, he told me he was very, very correct about it, where he said that, I was in the wrong corner. I had the wrong people in my corner. And now he's like, I have the best people in my corner. I have a person who he looks up to you like a father. He looks for you at his advice, and he knows you're not going to steer him wrong, which that meant a lot to me. He was very passionate about it. And finally, he has the right people. And that goes a long way, where you have the right people in your corner to take you, and they're not in it for themselves. They're in it for, to, get you, follow your dream, get you where you want.
Yeah. And I'll clarify, Trey didn't have the wrong people in his corner. He had people that really, really cared about him. I don't think he had anybody ever that was bad. I just think that together they didn't have all of the tools they needed to get a guy like Tresean where he needed to go. Can they put a world-class fighter together? Yep. But Tresean was, everybody's unique and everybody needs certain different guidance. And it was just, a match that needed to happen. And he and I just clicked right off the bat. And, we always joke that I always tell him like it is. I'll never sugarcoat nothing with him. Even when we were looking over Don King's contract, that contract. And I told him straight up, dude, I don't know if I'd sign that. But here's the deal. If you do, here's what's at stake. And he said, I'm taking it, coach. I'm doing it. So we put everything aside and we went after it. And lo and behold, here we are, number 10 in the world.
Exactly. And that's what Tresean, that's only a number. Sky's the limit. When we get number one, then you know what? That number one, take away that 0, and now you're number one. So that's the goal. And you got the right people in your corner. So continue,
Yeah, that's the one big thing that he said to us was he didn't really say he didn't have the right people in his corner. He said he felt like he had a lot of yes men, and he said since being with you, you kind of like you just said, let it know how it is. You're not a yes man who just yeses him to death. And that's what he was really kind of driving home with us last week.
Yeah, I mean some of our text back and forth is, especially early on, is like, don't do anything stupid, do the right thing. You do more the right thing you do. I believe success really is just it depends on your ratio of good decisions to bad. The more good decisions to make, the better chances you are of having success.
Exactly.
And that's what you work on.
And here's something I would like to ask you. This is Joe Sullivan. He's part of our show here. He does the College Football Frenzy every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with me. Management is so important. Look at Tyson after Kastle D'Amato died. How do you feel about that? I mean, is there anything you can say about that, Brock?
It's kind of, and not that we're at the level of Cuss and Tyson, but right. It's kind of like me and Trey, as far as, that level of trust. And if you lose that, no matter what you think about the person in your life you trust the most. Right. And for Mike, it was definitely Cuss. No matter what, they had their ins and outs, but, he trusted Cuss explicitly. When he lost that way, and you on through life then, especially in a sport as heavyweight where everybody wants you got a target, everybody wants to kill you, literally in some cases. It's really hard to go in there with a little bit of doubt and still fight at that level. And I'm sure that's really what was planned for Mike and really what made him go into that spiral for a while.
Right.
Yeah, there's lots of athletes that happen too.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned like literally killing you. I remember a couple years ago, Wilder came out and said he goes in there trying to kill people. Do you think that was like a totally wrong thing to kind of say out in the public? Like, I go out there to kill, I look to kill. Do you think that's a little much?
That's him. I mean, it's everybody's different, and some of us do it for hype to get, it's about business, selling tickets. So, I used to always say they'll either buy tickets to watch me win or buy tickets to watch me lose. Either way, I get the money. And so it's a business like that. So, let's face it, Wilder typically is the bad guy, to a lot of people. But there's a lot of people that love him, and whenever he says, goes. Some people, I see guys posting whenever, a fighter gets injured and they're, and they're all over. It's like, man, or if heaven forbid a fighter dies, which happens, they post. I've always been like, I don't know. I just can't even almost like ignore it. Like try to feel like we're invincible. It'll never happen to us. So I have a hard time even talking about death and what we do.
Gotcha.
So it's tough for me to even understand how he would think that, let alone say it. But again, to each his own.
Gotcha. Here's a comment we have by Brandy Correa. I believe that's Alex's mom, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Brock?
Yeah, that's it.
She's not only a fantastic coach, but an amazing role model. And, that speaks for itself. I actually know Alex. His girlfriend actually lives right across the street from me. I've met Alex many a times, and it goes a long way to say that it's just like that, a role model for you, what you've done for these kids. Alex is a great kid, and just being around him and talking to him still, it goes a long way, that the leadership and the role models that you set for these kids too. So, he's a great kid, and I have to give you credit as well. I know Brandy and her, Alex's dad are there as well, but it goes a long way to say just that comment right there, Brock. It really does.
Yeah. I mean, Alex, I love Alex like a son. Alex come in as a little kid that didn't know how to watch his mouth, and his parents brought him here because of, our OG of Kastle Boxing, Corey Walters, suggested he come in. And, Alex went from, this kid that was awkward to, he won Golden Gloves. And
Mm.
now he's one of our coaches, and he's an example, as you know, Alex, he's an example of the coaches that we bring in that train with us.
Mhm.
And it's the family, it's the vibe, it's the culture. We won't
Mhm.
bring anybody in, just anybody in as a trainer. There's a lot of people that want to come in, especially now with the amazing building that we've got, thanks to Tony
Mhm.
Pettit, man. It's just incredible. And you guys have seen it. But so we got a lot of people coming to us, but we don't want to mess with that culture. And Alex fits
Right.
right in perfect. And he's an amazing kid, and love to have him with us. Well, he's a young man now. He's not a kid anymore, but he'll always be a
Mm.
kid to me.
Yeah, I know. I see him pretty much on the weekends when he comes over to visit his girlfriend. So we talk a little bit, But yeah, it just goes to show that the people around you, and what you do for the community, Brock, it goes a long way without saying. But it's really great that the community has someone like you, and not only you yourself, but a gym as you do. You provide, just like the supplemental income. We give you, free. You can come in here and train for free, and $20 a month. That goes, wow. You can't get that anywhere else, honestly. I mean. Nowhere at all. I mean, just Planet Fitness is $20 a month, and that's just
Yeah.
no trainers at all. Just go in and do your own thing.
Yeah, I know the
Yeah,
local boxing gym by me. It's for my son to go, and he's 5. He's starting to talk about wanting to box and stuff. They wanted $25 just for one session.
yeah.
Mm,
And
wow.
it really is, and that's normal. Sometimes it's more than that, and
Hmm.
I'm always careful. Again, being business first, it's sometimes you discount yourself too much, and they don't believe in you.
Right.
But we've built it enough now that you can't argue. The numbers are there. We've got pros, we've got amateurs, we've got Golden Gloves champions, we've got the culture, we've got the numbers. I mean, we went from one guy to 100 fighters now.
Hmm.
So it's not something that we even have to protect anymore.
Gotcha.
So we can go free, and nobody's going to question that we're worth it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I had the privilege to visiting it, and it's just insane the way it looks. It's just it feels like a hometown gym, at which it is, and everybody there just knows you by your first name, and they're there to help you no matter what. And it's just like when you walk in there, you're not a number, you're a name, and that's something you don't see a lot, Brock. Especially in gyms where they charge you something, and the owner is hands on, of course, which is yourself.
Yeah, and all of us are. I mean, we've got some great trainers that give their time. Shoot, one of our trainers comes all the way from Cumberland, Maryland, with his boys 3 days a
Wow,
week. 3 days a
wow.
week, brings his boys up, helps us train, and it's just amazing the commitment that we get from our coaches, and
Mhm.
it shows whenever you come into our gym. It shows whenever we fight. I mean, we're known for being on time, on weight, and ready to fight no matter where we go, and everybody knows that. We might not win every time, but you'll know you were in a battle with us.
Mhm.
So we enjoy that part of it. But you come in that culture, you'll have literally guys with the ankle bracelet on, training right beside a CO.
Mhm.
We've got them there, and we all get along. We all have respect and help each other.
Yeah, I mean, that goes along. This is like you said there, you have people with ankle bracelets. I'm not the best person in the world. I've been in trouble before, of course, everybody has. And that goes a long way with what you said there, right there. When you walk in, it doesn't matter what you do outside the work, the gym here. When you walk in, hey, you're part of our family, you're part of our community. And that goes a long way with just like you do that for the kids out there. Whatever their past history is, whatever they have, going on outside the life, when they walk in there, they can close that off and train with you. And that's really acknowledgeable. I really love that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's clean slate when you walk in with us.
Hmm.
We got a few rules, very simple rules. Don't mess up, and learn that discipline.
Hmm.
And you stick around. If you mess up, you're out. But I can count on one hand. Oh shoot, probably only 2 people that I've kicked out.
Wow.
That said, you know what, you just can't come back. It's just not. This isn't the place for you. Find another gym.
Gotcha.
We tried hard to keep them, but that was it.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. You don't want to be a statistic out there, but that statistic number is always out there. But with the proper foundation as you give these people out there, it goes a long way. It really does. That's I keep iterating. Thank you. I've only been here about 2.5 years in Johnstown, and it's something that you don't see. There's good areas or bad areas, of course, everywhere. But what you do for the community, I wanted to ask you, but we already went over about the community. But I mean, it's just something that's great out there. So, is there anything that you can tell us? What do you provide at Kastle? I know that you guys do MMA, you guys do training. What else do you do, Brock? What else do you guys have there that's out there?
Oh man, so it again at Big Dog Built, which is the
Mhm,
actual center, the training center that we're in.
mhm,
There's people that train jujitsu.
mhm,
They train kickboxing,
mhm,
cardio kickboxing. We're starting now a spin group, so they're doing
mm,
Mm.
spin. We have Greg Nash, who's incredible. He's got Speed Demons. He's got his own personal training that he does. Guy does a really nice job of working with people. Coach Penna, Tony Penna, does personal training as well. And then, of course, we've got Carly Doherty, who does the ladies boxing that we offer every Wednesday.
mhm.
That group has grown crazy. My goal, and I mentioned this on an interview when we had our open house. My goal is to grow that group enough so that we can do an all-female boxing show. And
Wow.
I think we're on our way of doing it. We're on our way to
Yeah.
do it. Now, my dream would be if Gab's still on here is to have her on the headline that card for me. But she's a pretty decent fighter herself, and she's kind of like me. She's been fighting all her life too, and I'd love to be able to put that together. So those are some of the things that we offer. But Carly's also a certified personal trainer, so she can bring people in. And then AJ, who we mentioned
Mhm.
just recently, I mean, it's fresh. That the ink's still wet. Just got his certified personal trainer certificate. So he's complete nutrition, everything. So we can offer all of that kind of guidance when you come into Kastle, and that really pulls everything together and
Mhm.
helps us be a real complete kind of combat sports center.
Wow, that's great. I love that. Anything that you have upcoming, Brock, please let me know. We'll put it on our page out there. We'll help you out as much as we can. We're just ecstatic that we're a part, talking to you, on first name basis, put it that way. So we are really happy that, we're part of your acknowledgement as well. So that is 100%. I mean, I'm really ecstatic about that. Definitely.
No, we appreciate it. We'll definitely be along for the long haul with you guys. We appreciate that support. It takes a while to get that, and we don't take it lightly. So we appreciate your support and as well as your followers.
Definitely appreciate that. We got somebody, Rob Hefner. Excuse me. He's actually from Las Vegas, checking in. From the like the mecca of sports out there. So, Rob, you can check him out every Saturday night on Vegas Sports Scene, talking Raiders out there. But yeah, I mean, we got people all over the world checking out. So that's what we want, to get the name Kastle out there, as well as out of the box, of course. To help out. But you guys have a special event coming up. Am I right or wrong about that?
Oh, you are absolutely right. It's special in many ways. Special because it's really the our inaugural event at our new place.
Hmm.
Where we were before, we weren't able to put on shows in our own facility.
Hmm.
Now, with where we are, we have that big, beautiful turf room, plenty of
Yes.
room. We can put 350 seats in there, which is great for an amateur boxing show. And we expect to sell out. And we've got, on this card, I can't tell you how excited I am because first off, we've got out of 15 bouts, we've got at least 10. It may end up being more. We got at least 10 Kastle boxers that are on that card.
Wow.
I'm going to be camping out in the corner, but it's going to be awesome.
Well, I hope you got a seat there for me.
Oh yeah, we definitely. I got a seat. I got a shirt for you too, brother.
I appreciate it.
We got you there.
Well, Brock,
We have,
I'm gonna put this on the screen real quick. Is there any fight that you're looking at? I mean, we have it on the screen here. What fight stands out to you? I can't wait for that AJ fight.
Well, everybody's going to come watch all day AJ fight. If we call him all
Hmm.
day AJ because he can go all day. It's no lies. I had to cut him back. He ran 12 to 16 miles almost every day. I'm like, dude, you're
Wow.
overtraining. So, I mean, AJ is focused and loves to win, but I can't tell you how many. I'm excited for bout number one. Little
Mm,
Martez, 70 pounds. He's been
wow.
with me for a couple years. We went from a kid that, had some talent, but he just didn't like getting hit
Hmm.
to a point now at 11 years old that he gets in there and just he makes me look good. The kid is just so much fun to watch. But that can go down this list. But we've got kids that were bullied. That's going to be their debut. Most of these guys on the first half of the card
Hmm.
are debuts, and so
Wow.
it's their first fight. And the exciting part about I never got the fight in Johnstown. I never got to be here in front of my family crowd or whatever.
Hmm.
And these kids get a shot at being in front of that crowd, and to
Yeah.
be able to get that excitement. And let's face it, being in your own gym kind of helps with the jitters a little bit,
Mhm.
so that when we take them other places, they feel a little bit better about it. Now, we've taken them all kinds of places to spar, so they kind of get that out of the way. Being in Johnstown, nobody comes to Johnstown. We always have to travel. So having this card is going to be fantastic. But you've got Martez, and you've got the twins, Aiden and Andre. They're going to be fighting. They're a lot of fun to watch, and again, some more debut kids, and you got Greg Quinn, 43 years old, Masters fighter. He's fighting a guy out of Pittsburgh that, I'm sure he's going to be a brute. With those heavyweights, who knows what's going to happen with those guys being master fighters. And then again, you get AJ in there, you just don't know what's going to happen with AJ.
Mhm.
He's either going to box with you or he'll get in and bang. His last fight, he knocked the guy's mouthpiece across the ring. And I kid you not, I literally looked back at my coach and I said, was those his lips? Because it looked like he knocked his lips right off. And I wasn't trying to be funny. It was just he hit him so hard that it was just, and that's AJ. So you just don't know what you're going to get when he gets in there, but because he gets to mix it up with so many different guys. So it's an exciting. Oh, and we've got Aviana coming from DuBois. She's Golden Gloves champ. She's exciting to watch too.
Great. Yeah, I talk about AJ. When I seen him sparring against Tresean, I'm like, wow, this kid has a motor. Like, is he a professional? What is he? Who is this guy? Because he stood toe to toe with Tresean, and wow, I couldn't even believe that.
He's an 8-bout amateur.
Wow. Okay. So you're telling me. So Brock, real quick, you think? So I know you guys have the master division, the heavyweight division. Is there any like a division for over 50s? Because I'm thinking about making a comeback now hearing you.
So there's the Masters, and here's the thing: is get excited because we're trying to put together a Masters group. Talk about Vegas in February. They have a Masters Invitational. Teddy Marconja, great guy from Gold Medal Boxing. Shout out to Teddy. He's got some Masters in his gym, bringing one of them up to fight Quint. We've got a few in our gym. We want to put together a Masters team and take it to Vegas and see what we can do. While we're down there, we'll take some of our pros with us, get some sparring in down there with the guys in Vegas, and just make a week of it and have a really good time getting these guys some experience. So, yeah. So
wow.
February.
So when you get the senior citizen division, let me know. Okay, I will be there, Brock.
We'll get you out with the walker.
5 months, boss. Enough time for you, right?
Yeah, 5 months I can train. Yeah.
We got you.
Definitely. I'm gonna be at Kastle tomorrow morning. But now let me ask you, before we get you out of here, Brock, we appreciate you hopping on. But there is one name that I've been trying to do a little homework out there, Austin. Can you tell me a little bit about him? I don't know him personally. I haven't chance. I met him at the gym, but I really didn't speak to him. But he has a great story, doesn't he?
Austin's got an incredible story. He was born with a defect in his heart. Struggled with it all his life pretty much. He came to me, I think, when he was 15, 16, and trained with us off and on. Never really knew. We knew that he had a heart issue, but never really knew what was going on. And they thought they had it fixed. All of a sudden, we were getting ready, and he started feeling tired. And his mom, of course, takes him to regular visits, and they found that his ailment came back, and he was having some issues. So in January or near the end of last year, they came and tried to fix the valve. And unfortunately, they ended up blowing out the valve. So he had to have open heart surgery. So here's a kid. He's 19 now, 18, 19. Here's a kid who's amazing condition, all kinds of issues. They crack him open. Boom. Right. Fix it. He comes back. He's coming to me, wanting to train. And I was like, come on, man, take it easy. His mom's a nurse, so we were careful together. Next thing you know, here we are, September from February, and he's fighting again. He only had one fight. His very first fight, he fought a guy with a lot more experience, knocked him down, got a standing A count. In my opinion, he was winning till the third round when he got tired. We didn't know why he was tired. What was his heart? And so it was really working against him. So got that fixed. We expect some fireworks from Austin. Tony, that's coming down from Catania, he's a great guy. I had the pleasure of cornering Tony a couple of months ago, and I just love the kid. But again, we're going to try to beat you, Tony, this weekend. It's going to be fun seeing Austin out there. We call him Lionheart for a reason. We actually had a contest to name him. And that was the contest. He won his Lionheart, and the kid's got it, and he's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, I looked at it on Instagram, and I'm not going to lie to you, Brock, I actually teared up when I seen that video. When you coined him Lionheart, looking at his past, because he's very open about it. He had his videos of pictures of himself, when going through the surgery and what he looked like to where he's at now. And I tell you that coining of Lionheart, you hit that nail on the head. I'm telling you, that is insane with him. I wish him well, and I can't wait to see him fight as well.
Yeah, his mom FaceTimed me each day while he was in the hospital, and seeing him like that broke my heart. But like within 2 days, the kid's up walking, and I think the third or fourth day tops, he's home. He's on his way home, and that is an incredible story, and shows it's a testament to his strength and his youth. But again, that heart in there, he's worthy of the word Lionheart, the name Lionheart.
Exactly. Well, we got a question out there. He's one of my. There's Ken Fry. He's actually does the Vegas show as well. I believe he's in Pottsville. I'm not mistaken, PA here. What's the best fight you've ever been a part of, seen, or been a part? We'll go with seen, and then we'll be a part of. How's that?
Seen. Wow. Yeah, watching Roy Jones. There's so many of Roy's fights, but Mickey Ward. That trilogy there, and for me, that was really what always got me. And to watch Mickey Ward fight, it's kind of my style. Just get in there, bang. Little reckless abandon. The guys will tell you, I still spar with my guys. Chris Ortiz, one of my super heavyweights, he always laughs because I'll take that punch and walk through it. Now, again, he hits hard, so it stuns me for a second, but it's just kind of how I was. So, that trilogy of watching Mickey Ward fight was always kind of the exciting fights for me. Go back to Sugar Ray Leonard and in his heyday, where, that was fun to watch that style of boxing. But the best boxing match to be, and you talk about Alex Query, that show, we were up in Butler, outside in a baseball field, and Alex, I think it might've been his first fight. And Alex was a heavy kid, when he was little, and at that age, 14, I think he was, it's kind of that middle of the road. You never know what you're going to get. We matched Alex up against a kid that comes out, looks like a grown man linebacker. Looks like you, Joey. I swear the kid had a beard at 14. And Alex is looking at him like, oh, I'm like, you got this, right? So Alex comes out, Alex fights, his nose is bleeding, and I'm like, the ref comes over and he says, look, if you don't get that blood stopped, I'm going to stop it. And I'm like, Alex, you gotta suck it in. Alex says, no. I said, you gotta suck it in. Alex says, no. And I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on it here or not.
This is open. It's out of the box. You do whatever you want to do.
Remember, he's 14, and I'm a business guy, so I'm usually keep it close. But I suck it in. He goes, no. And I said, suck it in, you pussy. He went right in at one, man. He sucked it right in. And to me, that was like that, And he went out there and finished that fight. He got pounded on by a grown man, but he came back every time. Listen to what I had to say, made the adjustment. And to me, that's when a kid does that, in 3 rounds, win or lose, that feels so great. And Max, who's an amateur, I think his second or third fight, right? Max is the opposite of Alex. He's out there like Max just loves to get in there and bang. He don't care who he fights. And so Max gets his first chance. They hand him the mic, right? We're in a baseball stadium, speakers everywhere. He's calling dudes out, talking about himself, and instantly goes out. Mic drops, right? So here we are, a 15-year-old kid, maybe second amateur fight, does the mic drop. And I like,
boy.
It's just, we got something special there. But, again, Max went on to be, he's one of our pros. And, he goes in and fights, and he loves the game. And everybody's different. Everybody's in there for a reason. But those are some of my favorite memories of fighting. Of course, Tresean winning and defending, it was fantastic. I'll tell you that story real fast if I can.
Sure.
All right. So Trey's last fight, he's defending, right? I get there right beside the guys that are doing the commentary, and there's no seat there for me, no stool. And as soon as I saw Travis Castellano in his corner, I knew we were in. We had this. Trey was nice and calm. We had him ready. Travis, you could tell, was jittery in the corner, and a lot of times when your dad's your trainer, head trainer, that really can work against you too. And again, speaking out of turn, because I mean, with Gabby fighting with me, but again, if you got to know that sometimes there's a little pressure on everybody. So I could see Travis was a little jittery, and they said, "Coach, you want his chair? Would your chair?" And I said, "No, it's all right. I'll stand. This won't take long." Right? 2 minutes 38 seconds from the time they announced it to the time it was over. Right? boom, it was over. So it kind of felt good, at least that I was right. And but it didn't take long. And seeing Tresean's face. And him going to the corner, jumping up in the corner. We got some video of him. He likes to jump in the corner and yell. He finds his family, yell to his family. And I got a couple of ones where he jumped up and missed the rope. So he kind of went into the corner. And this time everything went perfect. He jumped up, he found his family, yelled, they raised his hand. We defended that title, and here we are at number 10. So those are some of my best memories of guys that I've been with,
That's insane. I mean, I love having you on the show. Don't be a stranger. Anytime you want to come on here, or anybody from the gym, you're more than welcome to hop on here. We're going to be a partnership here. So, we appreciate you having, coming on here. But Brock, before we get out of here, let people know how they can find Kastle Gym, where to find it, who to call. And because I think I'm going to come out of retirement. I might start hitting the gym again.
Come on in, man. We got all kind of, we got a senator that trains with us. You could come in and bang on a senator. I mean, come on.
Oh, okay.
So, to find us again, we're all over social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We also have our own website, Kastle Boxing, and find us there. You'll find all kinds of good stuff about what we do, and the people that are involved. We got a lot of good testimonials to what we do. But, just come on down to the gym down in the west end of Johnstown on Fairfield Avenue, right going out of town. You'll see that you'll find people that are going to welcome you in and really welcome you in with open arms and tell you what we're all about. I don't ever have to worry when somebody new walks in. I know we're going to be represented well, and you're going to be invited in just like family. So come find us, give us a call. My direct number's on there. You can give me a call anytime. And people will tell you I've taken calls anytime during the day. It's important. And if your kid's in trouble or your kid needs help, call me. We're going to help you out.
Great. I appreciate that. So listen, guys, before Brock gets out of here, please, give Brock a call. Kastle Gym out there on Fairfield Avenue. Give him a call. He's not only, just like people attest to the comments here, he's not just a trainer. He's not just an owner. He's a role model out there to the community, to kids out there, even people my age out there. I feel that I want to hop back in the gym just from hearing Brock talk. So Brock, listen, man, don't be a stranger to the show. Anytime you want to come on here, the platform is always open for you. And we're going to partner with you. We're going to put everything on Kastle Gym on our website out there, of course. And we're looking forward to it. And I will be there October 8th. That's going to be starting at 12 p.m., correct?
Weigh-ins are at noon. Doors open at 1. First bell's at 2:00.
Sounds good. So everybody out there, if you're listening out there, please, give Kastle Gym a call. If you're out there training, if you're in the area, please hit them up. They will definitely take care of you out there. And also make sure October 8th, you go to Battle at the Kastle. You got to get there. It's going to be a long day of boxing. It's going to be insane from the first card to the last card. So let's get out there. And Brock, myself, Paul Spencer, and Joey, we appreciate you hopping on. Please, anytime you want to hop on, please let us know. The floor is always open for you.
Thank you, guys. We'll definitely be back, and we'll be partnering. We appreciate your family now.
Definitely. Thank you, Brock. We appreciate you. We'll let you go now. Thank you so much. Definitely.
All right, fellas, we appreciate it. We'll see you later.
All right, Brock, thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right, that was great, Joey. It's great to have someone out there that, it's for the community. A lot of times, Joey, we're from Philadelphia, and we don't see that a lot. We see the bad points of Philadelphia. We know. Hell, K&A. The best fighter in the world don't want to walk through there, Joey.
Yeah, but think about this West right here, right?
Exactly.
Wis was in. When we lived there, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the best neighborhood in the city, Right. And I wonder how many kids at Wis would have been doing the wrong things if Wis wasn't there to kind of help them, let them know what a team mentality is and what a team aspect is. And it sounds like he's doing that even at a bigger level. He's talking about kids with ankle bracelets on. We didn't have quite that at Wis, but think about the lives that he's touching. It made me think of like every great story every great sportsman you've ever seen. You see these kids who are horrible upbringing. They find that one person who kind of changed their whole life around. And listen to him talk in his story. It reminded me of any great sports movie maybe you ever seen. Horrible upbringing, but they found that one person who believes in them and invested in them and turned their whole life around. It seems like what's Brock's doing with these kids.
I agree, Joey. Getting off subject here a little bit, it takes me back just like your shirt right there, Joey, with Sonoming. I met you when you were 6 years old. Shane's first year was at Fox Rock. I came there and I met your dad, and Your dad was the same as me, Joey. It was all for the kids out there because a lot of those kids, Joey, didn't have the upbringing that, Shane did, you did, of course, with our family and
Yeah,
your family. And to me, it was a time from 6 to 8 every night and every Saturday and Sunday for A and B games
yeah,
where we had 20 kids that we were the father to, and
yeah.
that
I mean,
to me,
shit.
it
You and
was
my
good.
dad, would usually. I mean, I remember times with my dad. I remember times with you where even after the games, the parents wouldn't come pick up their kids, and you didn't want to leave them at the field alone.
Yeah,
They'd be at your
yeah,
house until 8 o'clock at night when the parents finally decide to come get them. They use you the babysitter. I remember
yeah,
times coming to the field with you and my dad. Friday nights. When school started, we'd only do Monday through Thursday. You'd have all Friday
mhm,
night, and you and my dad would get a case of beer and be at the field till 10 o'clock at night, line in the field to make sure it was ready for the next day.
yeah,
Just what you
yeah.
guys did.
Yeah, and it was just, me and your dad. I hate to say it, there was some good people out there, but it was
It
just,
was you,
we
my
were there for
dad,
the
and
kids.
Bob Newman.
Bob Newman, yeah, pretty much it.
The
Rest
three.
his soul out there,
Yeah,
Bob.
rest.
Rest his soul out there. A great man. He gave me the opportunity to coach, and it's a family out there. Joey, your dad always coached the 65s. I always had the one up, and to me, it
And
was
then
just
Bob
like,
had the one up.
and then Friday night, just like you said, we get off work, go to the field, and with Sonoma, you never knew if the lights were going to be on, Joey. So that's why their lines were kind of crooked sometimes. But we had to do it all because we did it for the kids, and that's what Brock's doing for the community here. Which is when I walked in there and I talked to Tresean, and I talked to Brock, and I tell you, man, when I talked to him, it was a real person. First and foremost, number one, it was a real person out there speaking. So I'm just grateful that we're going to partnership with Kastle Boxing out there, of course, and we'll get some of the fighters out there, and we'll continue this partnership here because I'm very blessed to have someone. It's kind of a cliche in our corner, you know, but he's definitely in our corner. Did you freeze, Joey? I think you froze, Joey. But anyway, out there, Joey's. Yeah, Joey.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, my whole block just had a power outage.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
I'm trying to hop back on y'all. It scared the shit out of me, dude. I'm sitting there and the whole room just went black. And I go out my hallway and everything's black outside. I'm not afraid of the dark, but that scared the shit out of me, dude.
All right. Well, Joey's having a little. All right, hop back on when you can, Joey.
All
right. That's Joey. He actually just called me. He had a power outage. He just got scared shitless. His whole block went dark. And as we spoke of Philadelphia, the darkness of Philadelphia, that's just what happened out there. But, we'll give Joey a couple minutes. But listen, guys, if you're out there, listen, give Brock a call. I mean, he has a great foundation out there. Here's this thing, Kastle Boxing right there, Johnstown, PA, Big Dog Built, USA Boxing, great fighters. He has a 10th ranked boxer in the world, Tresean Wiggins, as one of his fighters out there. And of course, check out his upcoming battle here, Battle at the Kastle, October 8th, 12 p.m. The doors open at 1. Fight start at 2. But please, please check this out. I know a lot of people that watch this are not in the area, but listen, support Kastle Boxing as well out of the box. So, we all work together. So let's get the names out there and continue to do what we do for each other. Just like many of the comments came in, he's not just a trainer and owner. He's a role model for a lot of kids and people, even up in age where I'm at, senior citizen level. So, continue to get his name out there as well. But before we end the show, we're going to start a little bit earlier, leave a little early tonight. But before we get out of here, we just want to mention of all of our shows. Oh, there's Joey. Guess the power came back on. You back? You there? Muted. You're muted. All right, Joey's having little technical difficulties out there with Philadelphia, but we'll wait a couple minutes to see if we can get him back on here real quick. But we're gonna end. I'm not gonna end the show now. We're gonna give Joey a chance to come back on here. But before we get out of here, I want to mention all of our shows, of course, out of the box. Every Tuesday night, of course, you're watching the Fight Club 215, where we just had a special guest, Brock Cole from Kastle Boxing, hop on with us. So check out Fight Club every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Every Wednesday, tomorrow morning, the Bat Cave. Ken Fry talking on New York Mets baseball. You definitely want to hear him because I think he's going to be kind of mad about my Braves taking over the NL East. So definitely tune in to him tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., College Football Friends with myself, Mike Lauro, Joe Sullivan. And Joey Woods talking college football frenzy, all college sports. Tomorrow night, 9:30, them 215 boys talking all Dallas Cowboy football out there. And of course, Thursday night, we have 4for4 Locker Room Podcast with Mike Laurel talking all Philly, Eagles, anything Philadelphia it's related, he'll be talking to you. Friday night, check out Evan Laurel, Big Blue Power Hour, 8 p.m., talking all New York Giants. And of course, Saturday, Joey, what's the time on that Saturday show going on now, Joey?
We're going to start it at 7:30.
7:30. So check out Out of the Ring podcast with Joey Woods and Dave Yarnell every Saturday at 7:30, keeping you informed to AEW, WWE, anything out there with the wrestling, they'll keep you in tune. And last but not least is Vegas Sports Scene every Saturday at 8 p.m. with Rob Hefner and Ken Fry talking all Vegas sports. If anything going on in Vegas and Sin City, they got you covered. But I'm just going to get through that lineup real quick. But we have Joey back here. So Joey, what's going on, man?
I was sitting here, like I was talking, and all of a sudden everything goes off, and I'm not realizing because I'm talking here, and I look around, my whole room's black, and then I go out in the hallway, and I'm tripping down the stairs because we have a power outage. It happens sometimes because with the way our house is, my block is downhill, so we have no power lines. So everything is underground and controlled by a central box on Frankfurt Ave. If anything happens on Frankfurt Ave, we lose power on the whole neighborhood.
What, the box is near Holy Family? Is that where the box is at?
The box is right on the corner of Frankfurt. So right across from Holy Family is the boxes.
Gotcha.
So if anything happens to that box, we lose power all back here.
No, glad you're back though. At least came on. I didn't want you to fall over and break your neck down the steps, Joey.
Yeah, I was like a 5-year-old child. I mean, you know how I was a big fairy growing up, and scared of my own shadow. So that I had reminiscences of me as a 10-year-old. Missing every other step, running down the stairs, trying to get downstairs with the candles because I was freaking.
Oh boy. Well, Joe, before you were gone, I just went over the shows real quick, so we'll do that very end. We'll just go over them real quick at the very end. But I just want to give a shout out to Kastle Boxing out there, for what they do for us, us, and as well as for the community. So, we just want everybody to give them a call, give them a like, give them a share, whatever you can do for them. Get their name out there as well as out of the box, of course. But Joey, let's get into this, man. There's something big coming up, UFC 280. I mean, this card, Joey, we're probably going to need 2 shows to talk about all the card here. But
yeah, so I think what we'll do, Paul, is we'll talk about a couple matches tonight, a couple matches next week, and then the week after that, we'll do our predictions because this card is huge. This card
is. It's like the prelims can actually go to the main card here, Joey. I think Joey lost his power again, so we will keep him on here real quick, but I think he lost there. Yeah, I think we lost Joey again. I think he's having a little technical difficulties out there. But, I don't want to get into it by myself if Joey's not on here. But so what we'll do is next week we'll just give you a preview of the card out there. UFC 280 is coming up, of course. And with this card here, you're looking at some huge fights out there. We'll go into a couple of them real quick. Excuse me. I know Joey wanted to touch on the Jan fight coming up. Of course, that fight is going to be with Sean O'Malley. I mean, Jan is ranked number 1 and O'Malley's number 12 in the rankings there. So we'll see what that fight. I'm not going to get into without Joey. I'm not going to give my predictions of what I see on there because when I talk to Joey, it's pretty much we never agree on what we're talking about. I mean, there's a lot of fights on this card. You're looking at, excuse me, I know Sterling. He definitely wants to talk about the Sterling fight coming up with TJ Dillashaw, of course, and the main event, of course, is Alarbia versus Islam Makhachev. That fight, to me, is probably going to be one of the best ones I've seen in a long time. This is probably going to be the first fight that I've seen in a long time where, the last fight, Oliveira was stripped of his title because he didn't make weight, of course. So it's a vacant belt out there in this category. But to me, this fight here probably is going to be Makhachev's coming out party. Oh, there is Joey. Let's see if he can box on.
I'm back.
You back? All right, cool. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, Joey. I didn't want to get into any of the fights. I was actually going to cut it, but now that you're back, let's talk about. I think we want to talk about the Jan O'Malley fight. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. What do you want to start with, Joey? I mean, Jan's number 1.
Too much, too fast for O'Malley. I respect O'Malley. I think he's good. I don't think he's great like some of the people are hyping him up to be. I just think it might be a little too much, too fast. Jan, I mean, until last fight, which was a questionable decision loss, to Sterling. Before that fight,
Mhm.
he was considered the best by far
Hmm.
at that division, and then now we got him fighting O'Malley, who, don't get me wrong, like I said, he's good. He's a very good fighter. I
Hmm.
don't think he is great though. I don't think
Yeah.
he's this exceptional fighter. And Jan is an exceptional fighter. I think it's Jan's gonna take him into the deep end. And
I think so too. I'm a big O'Malley fan. I love. Honestly, I love watching his Instagram and his videos. I mean, he's a character. His name is a character, pretty much. You never know what color hair he has, what he's driving this week. But I think Jan takes it to him very quick, and I think it's not going to be pretty, Joey. I really.
I agree. I mean, look at Jan's some of the people he's fought. He's
Hmm.
beaten John Dotson,
Yeah.
who is a huge name, unanimous decision.
Hmm.
Rivera, unanimous decision. He KO'd Uriah Faber. He
Yeah.
KO'd Aldo. He beat Corey Sandhagen, who is
Hmm.
one of the other top of the echelon fighters in this division. I
Hmm.
just think, I just think anywhere that O'Malley wants this fight to go, I think Jan is just a little bit better. The only
Yeah.
the only hope that I think O'Malley is going to have is maybe his reach. I do think that O'Malley is a little bit bigger than him, a little bit taller than him.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that maybe he can use his reach. So O'Malley's 5'11",
Yeah. I'm
Jan
looking at it now. It's
is
5'7". Yeah, 5'7"
5'7".
versus 5'11". There's a 5 inch discrepancy, 67 to 72.
I'm trying to pull up his reach to see the reach difference.
72 inches, 72 inches, 5 inches.
So 5 inches is that's substantial amount
It is.
for a fighter who knows how to use it. And I think O'Malley knows how to use it.
Hmm.
So that could come into play, but I just think Jan, um, if O'Malley starts to dominate on the feet, which I don't think is going to happen, but
Hmm.
if somehow he does, I think Jan could ultimately get it to the ground and win that way. I just think it's too much too fast, but it's a good measuring stick for us
It
to
is.
see. Even if O'Malley loses, if it's a close, good fight,
Hmm.
I think this is one of those fights where either way, it's a win-win. Unless you go out there and you get stretched and you look like you don't belong in the top of the
Right.
division. If you go out there and you compete and it's a close fight, I think it helps your career no matter what.
Well, it's always like we always say, the number one fighter fighting not a top 10 fighter. O'Malley's a 12 right here.
Is
So, I
he
mean,
12?
he's 12, Joey. He's 12. I thought he was a lot higher than that, actually, but he's 12.
Really?
He's 12, yeah. And this is like we always say, Joey, this is one of those fights where, the champion out there, hey, O'Malley has nothing to lose here. If he loses, hey, you're not going to drop. If you win, my God, look where you're at now, you know?
That's shocking if they made this
I was,
fight.
yeah, I was shocked about that too. I thought he was
Which
about
makes
eight,
me
7 or 8.
believe, and I hate to say this, but if O'Malley wins,
Hmm.
I could see the winner of this fight fighting the winner of the other fight on this, Sterling and Dillashaw. That's the only reason why I think they make this fight is if
Yeah,
the winner of
yeah.
O'Malley Yan
Hmm.
fights the winner of Dillashaw Sterling. That's the only way I think that happens. I think that's another fight we're talking about
Definitely,
before we
definitely.
leave
We'll talk about
tonight
that. Yep.
is that fight. But I think
Yeah.
we're in agreement on this that we're not going to say who we think's going to win or how we think's going to win,
Hmm.
but we think this is a little too much too fast for O'Malley. Um,
Yeah, and I agree with you, Joe. I think this exactly. I mean, you're looking at this fight here. It's the third fight, pre-main card to the top. But if O'Malley wins this fight, he's going to be sitting there right in Dana White's ear saying, "Okay, well, Sterling Dillashaw, I just beat the number one contender. Now it's my shot." Because this is huge for him, Joey. This is huge, huge,
yeah, I mean, but
huge.
I don't know.
I just don't think he's.
It's just
I
a
think
head.
Jan.
I didn't realize that O'Malley was that low on the ranking. I don't
Mhm.
get it. I don't get it. I mean,
I actually had to look
O'Malley,
it up. I thought he was 7 or 8, honestly, right in that category between
like
maybe
that's
like.
kind of like, and I'm not trying to throw jabs at anyone or anything, but that's almost a McGregor sized jump, and I don't think O'Malley's quite on that level yet
No,
of
no, 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 not at all.
stardom. So that's shocking to me. But like I said, I think the way they're setting this up, the winner of that fight gets the winner of the fight we're about to talk about
Mhm.
right now,
Yeah,
Sterling
definitely. Hmm.
Dillashaw. Here's something I just found out recently, and I didn't even realize this. TJ Dillashaw is actually older than Jose Aldo.
No, really?
TJ Dillashaw is February 7th, 1986.
He looks
Right?
like he's 20. He looks like he's still barely over 18.
Jose Aldo's September 9th, 1986.
Wow. I
So
did not know that.
we all talk about we talk about Aldo as being the legend because of how long he's been in the business and stuff,
Mhm.
but Dillashaw's up. I mean, 36 isn't old for fighting, but
Yeah.
I was a
Wow.
little shocked to find that out the other day. But this fight to me is so intriguing, just for the simple fact that Sterling, when he gets it to the ground, he's so good at sinking in the
Mhm.
submission, getting to your back, and locking in a choke. But Dillashaw has such undervalued wrestling that people don't talk about it enough. Dillashaw, if it goes to the ground, can hold his own on the ground. So I'll be
Mhm.
interested to see if Sterling um, respects Dillashaw's wrestling enough to try to keep it on the feet, which
Mhm.
I think Dillashaw is a little bit better of a striker. But again, the big X factor here will be if it gets to the ground, is Dillashaw's submission defense on par? I know his wrestling's on par, but I don't know if his submission defense. And Sterling is a wizard when he gets to the ground with getting your back and getting you tapped out. I I forget the number, but I'm trying to look it up right now with rear naked chokes that he's won with.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, there's a stat that I'm looking at, Joe. I'm looking at him right now, and Dillashaw's takedown defense is 86%. That's wow. That's a really high
well,
stat right
here's the
there.
thing. I don't think that Sterling will be able to take Dillashaw down.
I don't think he will either.
I'm wondering if Dillashaw will initiate takedowns. Um, that
Mm,
would be interesting to me.
right,
But
right.
this is just a very intriguing fight. I think these two guys are very evenly matched. Again,
Mhm.
I think Jan still is a step above everybody else. I think I didn't agree with. I'm a huge Sterling fan. I
Mhm.
didn't agree with the last Jan Sterling fight. I didn't agree with that decision, but
Yes.
it is what it is. Jan is able to go out there and prove who he is by dismantling O'Malley, and then if Sterling's able to pull this one out with a very game Dillashaw,
Mhm.
it we'll get to see that rematch again. But again, Dillashaw's is legit. We know they're always gonna have that taint on his that asterisk on his skit record now because of the steroids and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
But
you're always gonna have the asterisk out there now, with classified with your name. So mm,
yeah, I just think I do think though that he is I don't know how to predict this fight, and I'm not gonna do
I
it
don't
yet 'cause we don't have to. We're gonna do that in a couple weeks, but this is the
definitely.
one fight on the card. I don't know how to predict it one way or another.
I don't either. I'm just so hyped for this card, Joey. Like, we definitely need two shows to cover this. Next week, before we get out here, we'll definitely talk about that next week, the entire card. Well, at least half of it out there. The main event is something that this card here, even the preliminaries, Joey. I mean, this
But the local boy headlining the preliminaries,
yes, you got your Sean
live
Brady out there,
lives right around the corner from me actually. Sean Brady, local as local can come. So
Mhm. All right, don't get any stupid ideas out there trying to go and fight him, Joey. Okay, we don't need you getting killed out there. Okay,
stop it. He
just
would
because I'm making a comeback at Castle, Joey. Don't
he
don't
would he
don't
would
try it.
submit me in seconds. That fight to me, that's
Yes.
not just because he's a local fighter, but just the matchups and the stylistic matchup that's there.
Hmm.
That's one of the most intriguing fights of the night to me. Is just because they're both great at on the
Yes.
ground. They're both okay on the feet. They're not known for their stand up,
Hmm.
but on the ground is where they make their bread and butter. And I'll be
Exactly.
interested to see how that plays out if they respect each other's ground game enough to where they'll both keep it on the feet. But
Hmm.
we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, next week's going to be action packed, Joey. We have two boxing matches coming up, which we won't touch base with tonight, but we have the Haney Cambosa fight coming up as well. The rematch out there. The one sided event, the first one. So we got the
Oh man,
rematch clause, but we'll,
that's
we'll
how I
touch
feel. How
we'll
about
touch
that?
yeah we'll touch base on it a little bit, and also we have Wilder. Wilder's going to be coming out there fighting as well. So we'll touch base on that, but mostly it's going to be UFC 280 next week again. So
And
before
that
we get
Wilder fight is supposed to be, just to confirm, it's supposed to be a warm up because there's rumors that Usyk is
yes,
going to fight Wilder, right?
yes,
That's what
Yes.
they're saying.
That's what they're saying. But with boxing, Joey, just like we spoke, we don't know what fight we're getting until, what's the word, Joey? Until they get in the ring.
Yeah, because we're not going to talk about the other fight.
Yeah, we're not even going to, the fight we want to see, it's still
They
up in the air.
disappointed us again.
Yeah, every day there's something coming out on Twitter talking about, who gets this purse, who gets that purse, who gets the rights to this and that.
Like,
So
we're talking
listen,
about millions and millions of dollars, and they're still fighting over who gets what.
Yeah, it's insane. But we'll touch base on that next week. But before we get out of here, Joey, is there anything you want to touch base on?
There isn't. I think you covered all of our shows. I apologize again. I had a power outage. Like I said, can't control that. I might lose my internet connection and stuff. But I appreciate everyone stopping by. I appreciate Kastle Boxing with kind of helping us grow, us helping you grow overall. Definitely, if you're in the Johnstown area, check out that show this Saturday. 1 o'clock start time. Some like some very intriguing matches. But again, anything else you want to say, Paul?
No, I just want to appreciate, Kastle Boxing as well as Brock Cole, of course, great guy. And also give a shout out to Tresean Wiggins out there too, trains under Brock as well. And just like Brock said, man, it's a community thing out there. It's not just, Kastle Boxing, even though it says that on the billboard. But, when you walk in the door, and when I walked in that door, Joe, I felt like family. Brock took the time to actually sit down and me and talk. We talk on the phone, and I speak to Tresean, at least, twice a week as well. And it just goes to show you that, they're under the right guidance out there. And so if you're in the Johnstown area, please, give them a call. If you're interested out there, any kind of training, MMA, nutrition-wise, anything out there. They have a spin class as well. Go out there.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Wiggins, though, Paul, because we didn't touch base on this, but he'll actually be there, right, on Saturday.
Yes, he will.
Kind of meet and greet with people. So if you're in the Johnstown area, you can meet Wiggins and stuff like that. So that's a good opportunity also for everybody.
Definitely. That goes to show you that he's under the right guidance because he gives back to the community as well. When you're the 10th ranked boxer in the world, you see that a lot where a lot of people just, I'm too good for you guys. Well, he trains out of there. He goes to every event that they have, and he's not asking for a handout. He goes there because he respects the community, and he's his hometown as well. Even though he's from New York, this is his second home. So we appreciate that as well. But if you guys like us, it's always out there. Please, check us out on all of our platforms. Of course, we're on YouTube. Of course, we're on Facebook. Of course, we're on Twitch. Of course. We're on everything. And you know what? If you like it out there, Fight Club 215 podcast, you can check that on YouTube. It has its own channel as well. So check that out. And also on the Out of the Box Network here on Facebook and everything, even on Twitter, we're going to be posting about Kastle Boxing. So if you're interested, they're one of our sponsors now. So we would definitely keep you informed of anything going on at Kastle Boxing. So, Joey, hey, you ready to get out of here, Joey?
I am.
All right. So, hey, listen, for myself, Joey Woods, we will be back next week at 10 p.m. talking UFC 280 and maybe talking about those boxing events that we might be seeing. So as for myself, Paul Spencer, Joey Wood, Fight Club 215, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.